Hey, thanks for checking out Four Finger Discount. Don't forget to hit subscribe for more Simpsons videos. Welcome to Four Finger Discount, where this week we're heading back to Season 9. Homer's got a gun. It's the Cartridge Family. I'm Nando.
And I am Guy, and we are joined... Well, would you like me?
No, you take it away, sir. You're taking the reins.
Normally you're really good.
I can do it. I'll do it. Let me
Welcome to the bastion of professionalism that is the Four Finger Discount Network. We are joined today by comedian Ray O'Leary, if in fact that is your real name, Ray, because the internet, which never lies to us, indicates that your real name might be Matthew O'Leary. Care to explain, sir?
You're doing a principal Tasmanian thing on me. This is going to go down as your worst episode, just so you know.
Jump the shark at this point, yeah.
We've already set the bar pretty low.
Yes. But how are you, Ray? Ray O'Leary. How are you,
Ray O'Leary, yes. Let's go with Ray O'Leary.
I'm great, thank you. Very happy to be discussing all things Simpsons with you guys. I've been a fan for a long time, so I'm specifically of you guys and your page. I've been deep in the various Simpsons Facebook groups for a long time, so I'm excited to be here.
It's dangerous getting into those Simpsons groups. You find some super fans in there.
Yeah, CompuGlobal, HyperMegaNet, Rock Bottom, Tenuous and Obscure Simpsons. I'm in them all.
There's no escaping those weeds.
Are you in as your real name, though, or do you have like an alias in those groups?
Yeah, double alias now, yeah.
This international man of mystery, my goodness.
But yeah, obviously we're here to talk about the Cartridge Family. We'll get into that in just a few moments, though. But you've got some upcoming tour days. Should we plug those before we get underway today?
Yes, thank you. Yes, I'll be touring a new show next year. I think that'll go on sale later this year, I think, if it's out. So keep follow my social media at Ray O'Leary Comedy for that. And also I'll be going to the UK in February and March, touring all over England and Scotland and potentially Ireland. I don't know if those dates have gone up yet. But yeah, there are some UK dates, all UK and Ireland dates are up. So check them out.
I'm glad you said Ray O'Leary Comedy, because I'm not sure if we actually alluded to the fact. Look, Ray, of course you are well known. You do appear on Have You Been Paying Attention, on Taskmaster. I don't think we actually said up front, Ray O'Leary Comedian. It's like, you're on tour. What are you doing?
People listen to the show know him more than know us, so it's okay.
Okay. So they either know he's a comedian or we're incompetent.
Yes. But yeah, so you're heading to the UK. How do you find the difference in audiences when you head over there? Are there any differences there or not?
No, not really. I don't know. I think maybe the biggest difference is just that here in Australia they're maybe a bit more used to me. But otherwise, I find the British and I guess Australasian sense of humor is very, very similar. And also, when I go to Britain, I mean, often it is Australian and New Zealanders come out and see me, so they make up a big chunk of the crowd anyway. But yeah, apart from that, maybe there's some slight language barriers with my accent. But I've not yet gigged in America, but that's where I expect there'd be the biggest the big barrier to have to try maneuver over.
Yeah, because they very much don't get our sense of humor a lot of the time.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. I don't really understand The Simpsons, to be honest. So,
well, I was actually wondering how, I don't know, synchronized or aligned the traditional Kiwi sense of humor is with, say, the Simpsons sense of humor. I mean, we tend to sort of view it as universal. I don't know, are there as many fans of the Simpsons in New Zealand as there are in Australia?
I'd say so. I feel like, I don't know what it was like growing up in Australia, but in New Zealand, the Simpsons were on constantly. There was, I don't think there was a night where the Simpsons wasn't on. There was one cable channel. We wouldn't say the term cable, but there was one, our equivalent of Foxtel, that would run, I think, at least 5 Simpsons episodes a day on the weekend. It was all just always on in the evening. It was omnipresent. So yeah, it was huge in New Zealand, and also I'm pretty sure the Simpsons writers were influenced by things like Monty Python and UK sensibilities and stuff, which maybe explain why it's so worldwide.
I find The Simpsons is great for finding new friends as well. Like you mentioned before that when you go to the UK, sometimes you have that language barrier. Some people might not know you as much as they know you when you're in Australia. I'm sure if you drop a couple of Simpsons gags in your routine, set.
If I start stealing,
just quoting Simpsons episodes. But what are your earliest memories of The Simpsons?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if I have any particular concrete memories, but I definitely would remember I'd watch the TV and I think I would go and try and recite some of the gags that I liked to mum while she was like trying to wash the dishes or prepare for next day, after I'd eaten all her food and was doing nothing. And she was not interested. I was bombing. I was bombing horribly in the kitchen trying
Can
to
you, can you recall can you recall any of the particular gags that it might have been?
No, no, sorry, and I'd butcher them now, but I definitely remember liking The Simpsons, and I'm sure as a kid, what primarily drew me to it was the fact that it was a cartoon, like, I just assumed it was for me because it was a cartoon, and there's no way I understood really anything of what was going on, whereas now I feel like, you watch the comedy and it's more sophisticated than I think what a kid would pick up on.
Yeah, well, you were mentioning to us just before we started recording that you went back last year or the year before watching seasons 3 through to 9.
Yes.
And there's just so many gags that you don't pick up on when you're a kid. And you just appreciate the show on a whole new level. I've just started watching the show again. Obviously, I watch it all the time for the podcast, but I've got a 7-year-old and a just turned 5-year-old. Happy birthday, Holly. My daughter turned 5 today as we record this. But they've just started watching The Simpsons. And we've gone back to the start and we're watching them through. And I'm watching this guy and I'm laughing at things and they're going, why is that funny? And I'm going, You'll understand eventually. Or if I can be bothered to explain it, I'll also explain the gag as well. But that's just what's so great about The Simpsons is that there's so many layers to it. There's gags for the kids, gags for the adults, and there's gags for everybody.
Okay, yeah, phew. I was terrified the story was going to be that your kids were understanding The Simpsons perfectly, and I was just a particularly stupid child. Who didn't know.
We're all stupid children.
Yeah.
Well, you're a smart adult, though, Ray. I mean, given that you're just what we've gleaned from this conversation, but also, you're a student of philosophy.
Yes. Wow, you've done your research, yeah. Wow.
The internet.
Thank you,
Wow.
Wikipedia.
But sort of gathering that information or, learning about, the various strands of thinking and things like that, I don't know, did it affect your comedy sensibility in any way in how you absorb comedy, but also how you present it?
Yes, I would say 100%. Yeah, I think it fundamentally sort of changed who I am and how I approach things. And I think, especially with comedy, I think a lot of good comedy is sort of like a philosophical argument. In philosophy, you're trying to support a conclusion. You're trying to prove that the conclusion is true, and you gather your premise and your evidence, and you arrange it in a logical order, and you do that. And comedy, I think, can often be like that. It's like, I see the world like this, and this is why, and here's my supporting reasons. And so you are often presenting an argument, but because it's comedy, the logic's all twisted and none of it quite makes sense and stuff. But it's still, I think at its core, you're doing a very similar thing.
Yeah, and that closing argument that you've got to come up with, that conclusion you have to come with, is usually the punchline.
Yes, exactly, 100%. Yeah. And I mean, the Simpsons writers were heavily influenced by philosophy, I'm pretty sure, though they seem to know it. I mean, there's a great gag. Oh, which one is it? Is it the one where they all have to give in their taxes, and Kent Brockman says the unemployment line, formerly the domain of philosophy majors.
That's right. Oh yeah, that's right. When they're at the dole office,
yes.
It's tough times down here. Not even productive people are feeling the punch, not just philosophy majors. It's like, ow.
Even productive people. Oh, so funny.
It's interesting you were saying before that you used to do the gags to your mother or try and rehearse them to your mum. We've had many comedians on the show, and so many of them say they did the same thing when they were younger. I just wonder if you became a comedian because of The Simpsons. Like, did it just instill in your mind, this is something fun to do, I'm going to do this for a living, without you even realizing it?
Yeah, 100%. And it's clearly something in you that makes you want to recite the gag and get the laugh for yourself. And I do wonder if bombing to my mum in the kitchen sort of instilled this like deep desire to get a laugh of like, I gotta win her somehow.
Was she a heckler? Like, she'd boo.
Work on your material.
Yeah. I'm just remembering my favorite Simpsons gif, which is the stand-up comedian who's I think about weird stuff. What about if E.T. and Mr. T had a baby? But then he does a little give it up gesture. I'm just picturing you in the kitchen going to your mum, sort of go, what do you think?
I was doing a lot of, how white guys drive like this. Yeah.
I'm trying to picture little 6-year-old Ray O'Leary doing that routine.
It's actually now that's one of my sister's favorite gags from The Simpsons of when Moe does stand up and he says,
Oh, yeah.
as the ladies like to call me, hey you behind the bush.
Do you like that episode, the stand-up comedian episode, where Krusty becomes the more raunchy comic?
Oh yeah, that's it's fantastic. Where he sort of does a George Carlin type turn. Is George Carlin is maybe even in the episode?
He may be referenced, but I know he definitely does the ponytail and whatnot.
Yes, no, I think it's phenomenal, and it feels like a timeless type sort of commentary on how, like, it feels still very much how comedy works now, where you can be this like interesting alternative act for a while, and then the siren call of money and Canyonero sponsorship deals comes in, and you sell your soul. Oh no, Jay Leno's in that episode. That's the one.
He gives him the sponge bath.
Yes, yeah, Jay Leno's bathing him. Yes, and then as we well, the episode we were going to discuss was almost going to be Burns Baby Burns, which is another one that heavily features a stand-up comedy and has Rodney Dangerfield sort of basically playing himself, which is I think another fantastic episode.
And it's funny because when I was younger, I didn't even quite get what he was going on about. I was like, who is this character? What is going on? I don't understand these gags.
Well,
and then when I was like, holy shit, this is one of the funniest episodes of all time.
It's so good, yeah. And I've read that the writers actually kind of struggled to write it because they were trying to write Rodney Dangerfield jokes.
Yeah.
And I think he has a very particular tone and type, which is maybe that's not that hard to tap into, like, the heavily, the guy who gets no respect, that's his shtick. But the jokes he does are so strong. He's like his stand-up, I think a lot of it still holds up, which a lot of comedy does not, but his still does. And so I don't know, they ended up doing a very good job, I think, of sort of creating a mini Rodney Dangerfield in The Simpsons. And like the little allusions to his act, I think, are so funny, where he says, I get no regard, no regard at all.
Moves the tie around all the time.
Moves the tie. Yeah. When he's walking up to Mr. Burns's house and he's going, oh man, this place is so nice. It's got I've never seen a place with a drive-in mailbox.
Yeah.
Hey, who am I talking to?
Yeah, I've got to say, you're nailing the Rodney cadence there. Right? You're doing, because I mean, he's very much one of one in terms of what you're talking about there. I mean, the gags seem like, these are dad jokes, or these sort of hacky, take my wife, please stand up jokes.
Yeah.
But the combination of that material and the way Rodney delivered them, it's with the sort of laser focus. Yeah, you're right. No one can really imitate that. I mean, you can try, but you'll never get it quite right. So.
Do you think he's also somewhat of a physical comedian, just the mannerisms in which when he delivers the line, he looks away and he does the tie? Do you think that is part of the shtick? Do you think as well?
Yeah, 100%. And I think he may have actually had a condition, but his eyes sort of bulge out a little bit as well, and like, yeah. Just the way he looks, I think it is important for comedy, and I think maybe I've stumbled upon it as well. But he looks like a loser. You believe he's a loser, and then he gets up and he starts talking. You're like, oh, this guy, yeah, he is a loser.
Let's think if he gets up and he starts doing sort of politically charged George Carlin style material, you're not quite buying it. They could be the most bang on lines ever. They get the most scathing social observations. Like, from this guy though, not 100%. He's not selling it.
Don't you hate pants?
It's a big club and you're not in it.
But you were speaking about timeless commentary before, and The Simpsons is known for that, and that's what we're doing today with the Cartridge Family, because obviously they're taking the Mickey out of gun laws and just controlling guns in the US. Gun culture in the US, but they do it in a way that not many shows have been able to successfully pull off. It's unbiased. It sees the pros and cons of both sides. I don't think you really walk out of this feeling like guns are the way to go, or generally guns aren't the way to go. It's just the way Swartzwelder have written it is just an all-timer.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. Swartzwelder, one of the greatest comedy writers of all time. And I think as I've sort of gotten older, I think I realized that is, I guess what you discussed is kind of the kind of comedy I really love. I do really love comedy about politically charged topics, but I don't, you don't want to just hear someone sort of repeat what you believe back to you, and then you sort of just clap and go, oh yeah, I do agree with that. Like the Simpsons have I guess kind of a funny perspective, which is Homer really Homer should not have a gun, which is I think the main takeaway. But it's
and that's what Mike Scully said, the showrunner at the time. He said that's the takeaway. Homer, the character, is the person who shouldn't have a gun.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and which I think everyone could agree with. Yeah, like it is funny, like seeing the members of the NRA's faces as he shoots at the TV. They're like watching Agnes Skinner look so horrified, and then
who's been throwing granades at the shooting range just prior. And I think it's actually a really good rug pull that moment, because you're not expecting their reaction to be that.
Yes,
because Moshe's shown off his 5-in-1 gun, and you expect him to sort of be gun crazy. And when he does that, it makes you the viewer who is, like, I'm not anti-gun, but like outside of the States, we have a very negative outlook on their gun control in the States. You watch that and you go, oh, these guys aren't gun crazy maniacs. Maybe I need to take a step back and just sort of listen to what they have to say as well.
Yes, 100%. And like I feel like, I mean, I could be wrong, but it feel like it'd be very difficult now to portray the NRA, and maybe in a more reasonable. I don't know. It just feels things are more polarized now, and so I feel like I don't know. I don't know if you'd have necessarily as nuanced a discussion involving the NRA on TV now, but I think that's the kind of comedy I really like. It's political comedy. It wades into the political issues. It doesn't necessarily show that one side is 100% right, though maybe it does make you lean more towards a little bit one way, but it's not like, they don't say this issue is perfect or this side is perfect. Like at the end, it kind of seems like maybe Marge is in the right, but then they do get held up. They get by Snake. Snake comes in, and then they do need a gun at the end.
Yeah, and also have the issue of Marge and Homer lying to her again. But you were just touching on there how, like I was saying, how it's unbiased. Do you think you couldn't do it now, as you were saying, because comedy in general has just sort of become very one note? It's either you agree or you disagree. There's sort of no middle line anymore, especially when it comes to political issues.
I think there are still some people in some comedies who are tackling political topics in a very interesting way, and even sometimes in an overly one-sided way. Like I think Jon Stewart, for example, or Roy Wood Jr. I think they're clearly left-wing people, or Stuart Lee in the UK. Like I think there are some comics who are very clearly left-wing, but even though they are left-wing, they're still the primary concern of all of them, I think, is being funny first, and I think that's so that's still nice. So I wouldn't necessarily say that comedy has changed. I would say my feeling is, and I could be wrong, but that politics has changed. It's not as nice as it used to be, I think. Like I mean, we have constant discussions about like, we all need to reach across the aisle and, not be so polarized, yada, yada. But I do think, the issues just are more polarized now, and there's a bigger gulf between the two sides. And I think,
I imagine there's nuanced discussion out there, but it is really, really sort of harder to find. It gets drowned out by the loudest sides on either extreme.
Yes.
Whether if we're talking about guns, for instance, or gun control, whether they're anti-gun control or pro.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine there are moderate voices even in the NRA or in gun culture in the US. I mean, I've known people who hunt and who have rifles, and they are adamant. They are always adamant about this stays locked up. This stays like double locked up. It's behind the Get Smart doors, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm sure you're going to have some people who are, to the extreme. It's like, no, open carry all the time. This is on my hip wherever I go. And they're the ones who are going to get the headlines and sort of prompt the most discussion, pro and con.
What's interesting is Swartzwelder, the man who wrote this, one of the most iconic Simpsons writers of all time, he's very pro-gun. So I wonder if it wasn't him writing, do you think there would have been such a pro-NRA story element?
I imagine the King of England got in his face one too many times, and he's just like, I got to show this guy.
That is a great moment in the episode right at the end where they say the reason to own a gun is where Homer mentions it and you think he's being dumb, and then the NRA are like, no.
but that's the main reason, yeah.
Yeah, but you're right though, Dan. I mean, I imagine that going into this, I had memories of the Cartridge Family, but I didn't remember the entire plot. And I was thinking, this is going to be more anti-gun than pro. And I wasn't going to accuse it of not having nuance. I mean, I think The Simpsons does that pretty well.
Yeah.
But I had the feeling that in the end it's going to be more guns are bad for the most part, or our argument is 90% guns are bad. And yeah, for this to be as even-handed as it was in a lot of ways, and even with that last part that you're talking about, with the very final scene with Marge, yeah, they do appeal to something very primal and primitive. It feels good to hold this. I feel
It's like a
so
cigarette,
powerful
isn't it?
with this gun in my hand.
Yeah. And that ending, interesting you brought that up, is actually censored out. I'm not sure if it is to this day. We've got Disney Plus now, so it's different. But back when reruns on TV were the way to watch The Simpsons, in the UK, they banned the episode for a good while because of the subject matter, and they thought it was just too pro-gun. And they thought the kids would think, as you said at the end there with Marge walking out, they think kids would leave this going, kids think guns are cool, and we don't want that at all here in the UK. So it was banned. But then when they finally, another station bought the rights to it, got to go onto the TV, but they changed the ending. You can actually find the video on YouTube of the revised ending that airs, I think it might be Sky 1 or whatever. And what happens is when Marge puts the gun in the bin, you see a reflection, and then they play the reverse footage, and it's meant to be that her gun, she's dropping the gun in the bin, and then she just walks out. And that's the end. You don't see her with the gun. You don't know that she's got the gun in her purse. It's meant to be Marge has put the gun in the bin, she's happy, and she's walking out like she saved the day by getting rid of the gun, which completely changes the tone of the episode, in my opinion.
It really does, yeah.
Yes. And it's a shame because it's kind of nice when Marge has those little moments where you're like, oh, she's, I don't know, she's not just this mild-mannered, I don't know, housewife or whatever, she's got this, like, interesting fiery streak and she's a gambling addict and stuff. It's nice when she has little moments.
She has flaws.
Yeah, she has flaws, exactly.
Yeah, because I don't think the episode is anti-gun so much as pro-responsibility. I mean, going back to that NRA meeting where, at Homer's place where he's, bringing out chocolate curls and that, but using the gun to open his beer, and everyone's just absolutely repulsed by this. I mean, I think that's probably what the episode is putting across more than anything. It's like,
that's how you should react.
If you're an American and you've got the Second Amendment that allows you to, gives you the right to bear arms, you've got to do so responsibly. This isn't a. Yeah, what does Homer say? It's like, this is a tool like anything else, like a harpoon.
A butcher's knife.
Yeah, that's right.
This story was actually pitched by Sam Simon, one of the original creators of the show, back in season 1. And the way he was going to end the episode was that Homer saves a robbery using his gun, yada, yada, yada. And I'm glad they didn't do that, because I think if you do a story like that, which comes across as very pro-gun in the early days of The Simpsons, I think it changes the overall depiction and just the perception of the show for parents letting their kids watch it. Because I mean, as an Australian mother, I know my mum would definitely not let me watch The Simpsons if there was an episode in season 1 saying, hey kids, guns aren't so bad.
Yes, for sure. Yes. Yeah, I don't know what my mum thought. I guess, I don't know. She'd allow me to watch it, but I know she's a partner now who never liked The Simpsons because there was too much belching. That was
that's the line.
That was the line. Burping was his issue. And he goes duck hunting and things like that. So I assumed the guns was fine, but the burping is weird.
Like when he strangles you, like that's okay as well. But like
every Barney episode is just censored, banned forever.
They actually edited the ending of the Barney episode where he's about to burp, but then they reverse the footage and he doesn't.
So sucked back into his lungs.
What's the one they do the big burp? It's the Star is Burns when they have the burping
contest
with the critic. Yeah,
with Eudora Welty.
Yeah, great.
Interesting. I don't know how or why, but what's the celebrity's name you were just saying? The Eudora.
Oh, Eudora Welty.
Yeah, Eudora Welty. They have her do the burp off screen, and Krusty's hair blows. For some reason on Australian TV, they used to censor out the burp. It was just silent when she burped, and his hair would move, but you couldn't hear her burp. It makes no sense.
Was your mum's partner on the on the film classification board or something? We're okay with Sarlo and the Evil Dead, but yeah, not this episode.
It all makes sense now. The other thing, this obviously is all about gun control, but we also get a really solid Marge and Homer marriage in crisis story here. We've had plenty of them, but I thought this one here felt unique in the sense that Marge wasn't leaving just because Homer did something stupid. She was leaving because she genuinely feared for her life. And that's a different thing. Homer wasn't doing necessarily anything. I mean, his behavior was stupid, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't that he was just being an idiot. It was just he was being selfish and being, I guess, just a bad father and a bad husband. And that's why she had to take the kids and run.
Yeah, he was genuinely endangering their lives and consistently lying about it. And it's, I think those lines are so funny where where Marge, what is it? He comes in and what is it? Bart is about to shoot Milhouse in the face with the gun. So and then Homer comes in and goes, "Oh, how come Bart gets a gun?"
Oh, I never thought you'd find out.
I swear from the bottom of my heart, Marge, I didn't think you'd find out. It's so funny, yeah.
And it's great that they have they make it so funny, right? But then you have to have that serious moment where the NRA go, whoa, what are you doing, buddy? And it's important that it was clever that Swartzwelder had the NRA be the ones to do that as well.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. It's so fun. And then also making Homer leave his own house. He has to wait outside while the rest of them party. It's very
To what sounds like the Ion Springfield theme.
Is it really?
Well, it's
That's what it sounds like.
Stepping on one of any excuse for me to do that sound is, I'll take it.
We better say favourite moments.
Well, I thought it was under one of my favourite moments, but that one of my favourite moments is actually the next line.
Well, what we do here, Ray, is we touch on some of our favourite moments from the episode. Do you have any particular moments that stood out to you?
Oh, it's a lot. I mean, I picked it because I do think it is the funniest episode. I think, how come Bart gets a gun? That's incredibly a really funny line. But maybe my favourite line is when Homer goes, "Marge, I've got a surprise for you." She opens her eyes and he's pointing the gun right at his face.
It's amazing they can have such confronting images of Homer pointing a gun at Marge's face, but make it funny.
Yeah, it is really something that they can only get away with because it's animated. Like probably if this show was live action and Homer was shooting a gun at a TV and things like that, it probably would be quite horrifying to watch. But because it's an animation, they can get away with it and do the things of the shots of Marge's eye open and the gun's pointed right at her.
I particularly liked when the guy was leaving there, the security guy, and he says, "Well, surely you can't put a price on your family's lives." I wouldn't have thought so either, but here we are.
By the way, shout out to ex-con security guy real quickly.
Yeah,
just when he's pinching all their shit, like stuffing ashtrays, he just does this really sort of sly smile. It's like, oh, I like this guy.
It's so fun when he says, what is it? Oh, all the previous owners of this house could still be in here.
You didn't change your locks.
And the other line now that I think about it, I remember it really cracking me up when I first watched the episode, was the soccer ad right at the start, and they say that we can finally decide which is the best country in the world, Mexico or Portugal.
Well, when we get to the soccer moments, I want to touch on that because there's a lot to delve into there as well. But I also really liked being a married man with 2 kids, I completely relate and understand this bit where Marge says to Homer, "I think you'd agree, Homer, that I've put up with a lot in this marriage." And he's about to interject, and he looks at the kids, and the kids just go,
"No." You'll lose this one, buddy.
That's such a good line. And the cut to them after Homer's been shooting the dinner plates, and then the cut to them all eating out of the colanders and Marge's
cups.
That was such a
cup. And
where are my dinner plates? You probably left them at work.
And I also love a Milhouse moment in a Simpsons episode as well. And when Homer says, "Do you know how to cook dinner?" And he goes, "Oh, do I?"
My time to shine.
I had 1 or 2 that I wouldn't mind giving a shout out. I love that the gun shop was called Bloodbath and Beyond.
Oh,
there goes one of my trivia questions.
Moe's line about he had a burglar at Moe's and shot him in the spine. It's like, I guess the next place he runs better have a ramp. Jesus, Moe, it's dark.
It was going to get pretty ugly there, but I shot him in the spine.
It's such a horrific speech. And do they, I forget, they either all clap or do they all laugh?
They applaud.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know if this is a meme as such. It's not a mainstream meme in the vein of Homer backing into the hedge or something like that. But Homer's robbed the Quickie Mart fantasy. He's like, what would life be like?
So good. Yeah. It's like Marge a go-go dancer.
Senator Sash swirling a 6-shooter and Marge is like a bikini-clad go-go dancer. Brilliant.
I feel like I robbed the Quickie Mart.
Marge and the kids have left the family home. They've gone to Patty and Selma. We've got a gentleman call. It's like, this TV's not broken, it's just unplugged. Hey!
I thought you would have loved Quimby.
That's my final one.
Right.
Vote Quimby. That's all you got to say. Vote Quimby. And 3 times. The man's just on the campaign trail. He's on the hustings all the time. Brilliant. Vote Quimby.
My final one is at the end where Snake takes Homer's gun. He goes, "You idiot, there's no ammo in there. Give me the ammo." "Okay, don't shoot."
A phenomenal line. Actually, speaking of lines that I remember as a kid, maybe they used to play it in an ad or something. No, that can't be right. But I distinctly remember the woman saying, "Hello, sailor." And does she say, "Are you looking for a good time?" And he says,
Yes,
"What
ma'am.
am I?"
He's really not.
That's funny when Marge comes back out. But I think that for whatever reason, the line of "Hello, sailor, are you looking for a good time?" stuck in my brain as a child.
It's what you were saying before. You think it might have been from a commercial or something. There's a moment in this episode here where Homer says, "We're going to go to the soccer." "Yes, yes, oh God, yes." That used to be always used. We had a TV station, we're still here, Channel 10. You're on Channel 10 when you're on, yeah. Have you been paying attention or whatnot? They used to air The Simpsons. That was like in the golden era, that was what they had, The Simpsons. And they used to have competitions all the time. And they would say, "Do you want to enter the competition?" And they'd always play that clip. "Yes, yes, oh God, yes." So whenever I see it, I'm like, it's the ad from when I was a kid. It's funny how like certain moments that get repeated so many times, you're like, it's that commercial. That's that moment, yeah. Trivia time, Mr. Davis.
Wow.
Hit us with your first question.
The soccer great Pele endorses what?
Ooh.
It'll make you king of the kitchen.
Oh yes, it's something really bland and is it just like why? No,
It's crust.
something.
It's crust something crackers, right? Crust.
It is Crestfield wax paper.
Oh, no, could have been real wrong.
It is nothing like what you were saying. But Pele got a fat sack of cash for that, so good for him. Anytime you've got someone getting a fat bag with a dollar sign on it, you're doing all right by me. Whether it's Ron Howard or Pele, and those are pretty much the only 2 examples that exist. Yeah. Just an absolute winner.
Unrelated, it's in another episode, and you guys will know which one. But another great moment in The Simpsons at a stadium is when Mr. Burns is the winner of a lottery, or he wins a car or something, and he comes out. Oh, it's when Marge is making pretzels because she's just handed out
001.
yes, and she's just handed out pretzels to the entire crowd, and then they go, "Oh no, and here come the pretzels." And
You can call them Whitey Whackers.
then Mr. Burns is twitching on the ground.
No. It's a Whitey somebody because he comes out to try and stop the crowd, and then he's like, "You can call them Whitey Whackers," because Mr. Burns is in his car. I just love the delivery. I think it's Harry Shearer, and here come the pretzels. Whenever I see pretzels, I have to just say that. Man, my first question is: what is on at the Springfield Stadium the day after the soccer?
Oh, I remember paying attention to that because I remember thinking, "Oh, that was weird," and I thought maybe they could have done a stronger gag. But I'm trying to.
It's usually something of rock.
Something of.
It's monsters of something.
Oh, well, okay. Is it Monsters of Love or something or?
Monsters of poetry.
That's it, Monsters of Poetry. I didn't understand the gag, I think.
But Monsters of Rock is like a thing, right?
It was an ongoing tour.
Yeah.
I think in the 90s that you get together 3 or 4 bands that were either
so
maybe it's seen
desperate
better
need of
days.
money.
Yeah.
So 3 or 4 bands that couldn't quite fill a stadium on their own, but
It's like,
yes.
Monsters of Rock featuring Dokken or something like
Def Leppard.
Monsters of Poetry. That's a great gag.
Yes. All right, your next one.
According to Marge's statistics, you are how much more likely to shoot a family member than you are an intruder?
I know this one. I remember.
Oh yes, I remember her saying it, but how much higher is it? Is it like
It's a little bit more than half.
Yes, I was going to say, is it like my brain went to 56.
58, yeah.
58. That was going to be my
Yeah.
next guess.
Yeah.
Incredibly close.
Yes, yeah. Where are the guns located in Bloodbath and Beyond?
Oh, gosh, I remember. I'm remembering Homer seeming like he wanted to rush into the store, that he rushes straight past into the bathroom.
Well, this is where
Very-
the wise guy says, they're in aisle so-and-so next to the something. They're in aisle 6 next to the sympathy cards.
Well,
Very quick bathroom turnaround by Homer, by the way.
Yeah. But I love that moment. Yeah, you think he's excited for the gun, but no.
Also, I'm happy anytime I see Wise Guy, as viewers and listeners of the show will know. But this particular time when he's just getting shot at,
I know,
with the empty guns, like, whoa, take it easy there, Annie Oakley.
I didn't take it easy. I've got a gun.
So I thought that was brilliant. I have one more trivia question.
What was the thing he says to Wise Guy? Does Homer say like, "Oh, like he says like if I had my gun, I'd shoot you" or something?
Yeah. Well, you don't.
My last question. We're going back to the stadium. How much did valet parking cost at the stadium?
Oh, good question. I have no idea. I'm
No,
stumped.
yeah. I mean, I remember the valet showing up and the car's on fire and he hands the keys over.
Yeah.
It is $10 for valet parking.
$10. Seems pretty cheap.
We're getting a lot of good. When did this episode air? This would have been
97.
97. Yeah, we're getting a lot of good 90s prices in this because when XCon Security comes in and says, "Look, we can do this to your windows for $500," I'm like, what a deal! Even from XCon Security, you're getting a bargain.
I know. I was like, that's pretty cheap. I was like, I can't afford that. I'm like,
and the Simpsons, we were looking to you as the exemplar of middle class living.
And the bargain again is to get a product that seals your windows completely and means you can't breathe.
That's right.
Yeah, the suffocation one. All right, final one for me is, what's the address of Patty and Summer? What room number are they?
Oh, are they? Is it 10?
No, it's 1599.
Oh, God.
That might have been Marge's room. Patty and Summer. Maybe at the hotel. I'm not too sure.
Yes.
But by the way, shout out to the Sleep Easy Motel. It's a great visual gag. I'm sure everyone knows it, but the lights blinking out in the Sleep Easy and it becomes sleazy.
Yeah. Now, I'm pretty sure the Sleep Easy Motel's been mentioned before, and I wonder if they've actually used that gag before.
It feels familiar.
It feels like a title of a hotel used purely because they want to get that gag in.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
100%.
All right, well, let's get our skim through of the episode. So the original edit of the episode was November 2nd, 1997, written by John Swartzwelder, directed by Pete Michaels. Chalkboard gag, everyone is tired of that Richerd Gere story. Do you want to tell what the Richerd Gere story is? Everyone's already tired of it?
The Richerd Gere story is apparently when Richerd Gere was young, footloose and fancy-free and looking for, shall we say, sexual thrills. Part of those sexual thrills might have involved a gerbil going somewhere a gerbil shouldn't.
Yeah.
This story was
Weird.
apparently spread by Sylvester Stallone. This is a rumor. Yeah, allegedly.
Just saying.
Allegedly.
Wait, it's a rumor that Sylvester Stallone spread it, or the story?
Apparently, yeah, that Stallone spread it because he had beef with Richerd Gere back in the day. Apparently, they were like sort of, strangely enough, going up for the same parts.
And it's just bizarre enough where you're like, fuck, it might be real.
It's like Hollywood in the 70s could have been crazy. Yeah, everyone's coked up. They could be doing just better, and it just sort of gained legs over time.
Well,
everyone started that Richerd Gere story, especially Richerd Gere. Not to mention the gerbil.
Yes, and the couch gag. Everyone has their backsides on fire. They run into the couch which has water in it, and it puts out the fire. So the episode kicks off with the ad you were mentioning earlier, Ray. The Continental Soccer Association. It's got fast kicking, low scoring, and ties. You bet. And but let's just discuss the perception here of soccer, because they've admitted that they didn't really know all too much. And apparently, I think it's the referee. Maybe the referee, the design of him is the janitor at the Simpsons studios who basically told the director everything he knows about soccer, so he can actually design it. I mean, this is 30 years ago, right?
Yep.
And even in Australia, I'm not too sure what it was like in New Zealand, but soccer just was not a big sport. And it's getting more popular here. It's still nowhere near the level of our homegrown sports, but it's growing, of course.
The Matildas have got a lot to do with that.
Matildas and Socceroos and whatnot, but in America, it's also growing slightly, but it's never going to be on the level of their sports. But it just, I don't know, coming out of this, did you feel like they were just taking the piss out of soccer?
I think there's no other way to look at it. There's no other way.
What I'm thinking is, I think they're really tickled by the dichotomy of what you see on the field or what you frequently see on the field, which is a fair bit of passing. It's not exactly gridiron. People aren't crashing into one another. It's not modern day gladiators or something like that. But you contrast that with the extreme enthusiasm that some commentators will have, and as they demonstrate here as well.
So great that moment.
He passes. It goes to the wing. Goes to the back. Goes to the back. Go ahead.
Holds it.
How are you excited by this?
But that moment there with Brockman and I'm going to say the Spanish commentator maybe.
I guess,
is like the perfect just encapsulation of what it's like for a non-soccer fan watching soccer.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
how are you this excited over this? But I think that's the thing for many sports, though. If you don't understand the rules, then you just don't understand what you're watching.
Yeah.
I'm sure I don't understand the rules of soccer and football for all of our UK listeners.
Yeah.
If I understood the rules, I'd probably enjoy it more. But still, we always fall back on the nil or draw. What's the point?
I've had that when I'm watching like NRL or something. I mean, I've only watched a few NRL games. It's like, you could put a gun to my head and I could not explain the rules of this game.
I mean, you had to turn down a career as a professional footballer for philosophy, right? Ray? Is that what happened?
Yes, 100%. Yeah. I actually did do soccer when I was a kid, but even still, I couldn't explain the rules to you. Like, I just don't know sports at all, which I wonder is why this bit appeals to me so much, because obviously they knew very little about soccer as well, apart from they knew it seemed to be a boring game to watch, but the fans' passion was exceedingly high, and the commentators, that's another gag from this episode that really stuck with me, and I think was even in my like in the schoolyard and stuff, like other kids would say, hold it, they
Hold it.
I think the immediate contrast between Kent Brockman and the other guy, you could that joke's kids can understand that this idea that that Kent Brockman's so bored and this other guy thinks he's watching the best game of his life.
I remember when I was a kid too, there was always the perception of if you played soccer, it was because you were too soft to play contact sports.
Oh,
it was just like, oh, you play soccer, you're not tough enough to play football. I was like, oh, well, I didn't play soccer anyway. I was like, go easy on those kids. I mean, they don't want to get tackled. That's their choice.
Probably don't want CTE.
Yeah.
I'm willing to put my hands up. I was too soft to play football. But you were putting me in soccer.
You were hardcore enough for philosophy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It's not for sissies.
What are some of the biggest difficulties you come with being when you're doing a debate? Like, do you have any fears, like being mid-debate and not being able to come up with a response? Like, did you ever have moments like that?
Yeah, obviously as a philosopher, you can sustain a lot of injuries, headache, something being on the tip of your tongue and you can't quite...
Injuries to your inner soul.
Yeah, you never... So in philosophy, at least in the classes, you wouldn't do debates so much. Like, I mean, you would have arguments, but it wasn't quite like structured debates where, there's set of teams on either side arguing and stuff. Though when I used to run tutorials, I would sometimes do that to try force the kids to adopt positions they didn't necessarily agree with and stuff. But it's more what's the word? It's more gentle than that. So even in the philosophy class, I wasn't doing the extremes of debating. I was too soft for that.
Are you more sort of nudging towards a consensus or a common ground, or?
Yeah, I guess. Well, it's more, not necessarily a consensus, because depends on the class size, and also you would never ever get agreement amongst everyone because people just have different opinions and different base intuitions about the thing. But it was a lot of like. Especially in ethics, it'd be something like, a professor would present an idea and someone would say, oh, well, that's wrong because of this. And then the professor would, present a counterexample. And then, someone else would have to try and reply and stuff. And
usually it's like, I think therefore I am. Please.
How do you have to approach it differently when you said sometimes you give your students... They have to make an argument for something they don't actually believe is what they truly believe. Like, did you ever have that moment where you had to make an argument for something that you didn't actually agree with? How do you approach that differently?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I mean, I would have had to in classes and things like that. But normally in philosophy, I guess the essays you end up writing, it's, pick a position or pick a topic and write, what you think about it and stuff. But often, you'd have to try and carefully think about your opponent's position and then try and sort of detail why it's wrong or why they were committed to some sort of illogical thing that they really should be embarrassed to believe and stuff. But yeah, I felt like I personally felt like an important part of the class was making sure you're aware what people you disagree with thought and why, and being able to understand why they thought that, or and to critique them properly. Don't strawman them, don't misrepresent their position. And then another big issue that I noticed. This is getting deep in the weeds of philosophy class now, but like for example,
It's why people tune in, right?
people come to the Simpsons podcast to listen to in-depth discussions about what a Wellington philosophy tutorials were like.
No, keep going, please.
But I distinctly remember, at least with my first year students, we'd discussing a topic like abortion. I remember we discussed 3 different philosophers, and all of them had different arguments, but in I guess in support of the what you'd call the pro-choice position, I suppose, or they thought abortion was morally permissible, but they all had very different reasons why, and they would all disagree with each other, and they had very fundamentally different outlooks and would disagree, and often the students were very bad at being like, they're very easy to just be like, oh, they all agree, so it must all be the same, or you'd have to be like, oh, no, these 3 people hate each other. It just so happens they've arrived at the same conclusion, and there was a lot of things like, understand the reasoning at how someone got to a position.
Yeah, as a philosopher major, I'm going to ask you this one question then.
Yeah.
When did the Simpsons golden era truly end?
That's a good question. I think it is end of season 9. I think season 10 is when it starts to produce more episodes of maybe lower quality than high. I think it's season 10. Is season 10 the one where Homer crash lands in Alec Baldwin's house?
That sounds like it's a season 10 one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then I think I might. Yeah, I'm standing by my position.
That does have the Ron Howard gag at the end, though.
Yeah,
Done it again.
So yeah, your argument is fundamentally flawed, right? Morally, ethically, intellectually bankrupt.
You're right, though. I do feel like that's the point where the show went from consistently just like banger to good moments throughout the episodes, but not overall a really entertaining episode.
Yes, yeah, and I mean I'd have to when I was doing my rewatch, I did stop at 9, and I think the only reason I can remember that is I think I must have watched 1 or 2 episodes of season 10 on a plane or something, and being like, oh, okay, something's happened here, something.
Well, they did change the direction of the show. Mike Scully, who took over in season 9, he basically he took the approach of, this is your work day, so you can go home at 5 o'clock and see your families for dinner. Where it used to be, no, you guys are staying here until we get the right fucking joke. You're not going home. You're going to live in this writer's room. And he made it a more balanced work life, which was great for the writers, but I feel like the Simpsons quality suffered as a result. But he also changed the direction. That's where Joke-Ass Homer was born. Yeah. Homer was just becoming a bit of an idiot. It became more of a cartoon.
Yes.
By that point.
I distinctly remember, listen, there's a lot of TV shows like that. Like, I think Dan Harmon on Community would run his writers late into the night, and everyone would just be stuck in the writer's room, and he'd feel guilty, and he'd be like, the show has to be really, really good because I know all the writers of Glee are going home at 5 to see their families, so I need to make sure.
That's the thing, the more tyrannical showrunners and all the more driven creative people tend to be, often to the detriment of their personal lives. It's a sad thing, but yeah, often the quality of their material tends to be a bit better.
Yes.
Now, that's not always the case, but I think you'll find maybe more often than not that it is the case.
Yes, I didn't realize this. I didn't realize about the tyrannical or the change in that there was a workplace culture shift in The Simpsons. I didn't realize that happened. And I know people, I mean, you guys have probably discussed this to death, but I know there's currently a debate emerging or a discussion emerging that the Simpsons are starting to get good again, or there's become an uptick in quality in the more recent seasons. And have you guys...
We just threw out we did a review of the premiere of season 37, which came out about 3 weeks ago, and yeah, it's really good.
Pleasantly surprised.
I mean, it's like nothing's going to be on the level of the first 3 to 9 seasons, right? Not on that level. So don't expect that. If you go in not expecting that, you'll be fine. But it's just they've found the heart to the story again, the more emotion to the story. It just for a good period there, we often say they were writing jokes and assigning it to a character as opposed to writing a joke for a character.
Yeah.
And now it feels like they've really gone back to their roots, and all the jokes and all the stories just feel true to who's saying the jokes. And just, the story was really entertaining, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah. So the last want to say the last 2 seasons in particular, I feel like they really started to sort of shift back to the way things were.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, there was one season I watched a couple of episodes. The one that it opens with Conan O'Brien hosting the Simpsons finale. I
Yeah.
think.
That was last year,
Yeah, that was last year. And then there was one where Marge was anxious about school photo day. I wasn't maybe not necessarily a super funny episode, but I remember it had I really enjoyed it. And then they've done some, I guess, more high concept episodes later on that I've been fond of, like the is it called a Serious Flanders? The two-parter, which is a Fargo parody or whatever. That episodes like that I think are phenomenal.
And that's what they're doing more of now. So Matt Salmon, who is now the showrunner of the show, he's big on the format bending episodes like that. Like he was, do you remember Trilogy of Error, the Linguo?
Yes, I love that one.
So he's big on those kind of episodes, and now I reckon it's probably 5 or 6 a season now, where there's just from the get go, okay, this isn't going to be a normal episode. It's almost like a non-horror treehouse of horror, and you can just enjoy it for what it is, and it's just a lot more fun because after 37 years, they're running out of ideas, obviously. So yeah, but season 37, the premiere, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, wow, fantastic.
Well, you hope they wouldn't be running out of ideas because life is always changing.
And that's what we actually mentioned in that review. It feels like they've shifted the timeline of The Simpsons at the beginning of this season. So basically what happens is Marge has the TV breaks. The TV breaks? No, she turns off the TV because there's too many commercials on streaming. So she turns off the TV. So we're getting the DVDs out. And she's busted the DVDs of this old TV show they used to watch, and they binge watch it. And it's a Dawson's Creek parody. But it's almost like The Simpsons, Marge and Homer were teens, or growing up, in the 90s. So it's almost like now, if my kids are watching it, that makes timeline sense-wise, because Marge and Homer are my age, and I grew up in the 90s.
Yeah.
So Marge and Homer now, in canon, grew up in the 90s, because when I was watching it as a kid in the 90s, Marge and Homer were my parents' age, who grew up in the 70s.
Yeah.
So now it's almost like they've shifted the timeline 20 years forward, so that it makes more sense for younger viewers. It's almost like they've just recreated the show again. It's really interesting.
Oh, great. Yes, I do. I mean, maybe I'm just stuck in my ways, but the idea of seeing Lisa and Bart and stuff with iPods and, them using smartphones and stuff, it always seems so off to me. But I know they've always had a floating timeline to keep up with modern events, but it always just seems so bizarre.
Yeah. Well, one thing we also touched on in that episode in particular was when they used to have iPods and things like that, they made it a joke, like it's a MyPod, and they made it like a thing, like we're hip, we're with it with current technology. But they used current technology in this new episode, but it wasn't the gag. It was just they were just using it because that's what kids use now. It's not a joke. It's just they get out their phones or they get out this, and it's like, oh, this just feels like kids in 2025.
I think it's a lesson that we've learned as we've sort of progressed in the 21st century and realized that, tech is part of our lives. There's always going to be some new gadget, some new device, rather than go, the internet? What? Yeah, I mean, eventually,
Yes. I mean,
not 5 years from now, 5 minutes from now, you're going to look like a chump.
Yes.
So you might as well just incorporate it into the storyline as like, this is the way we operate now. And if, 10 years from now, people go, oh, remember we used to have that thing where we'd, trace our kids using our phones? It's like, yeah, sure, that's what happened. But we're not saying, check out this wacky new device. Wow, how wild is it living in the future? That's ridiculous.
It's the same with comedy too. Like, you have to change your approach in the way you promote your shows. Social media is a big thing now. That's probably your biggest tool now for marketing your shows, right?
Yes, 100%. Yeah. So, and I mean,
speak for yourself. I got a very nice handwritten letter from Ray saying, coming to Geelong. Tell your friends.
Personal flyers. I'm doing smoke signals. I've got pigeons carrying notes. No, 100%. And I mean, old comedians from previous generations who I really respect, they obviously hate social media, and we all hate social media to an extent, but unfortunately refusing to go on social media or do any kind of marketing through social media would be the same as, refusing to appear on a radio show back in the 50s or whatever, or refusing to appear on TV in the 90s. And they were all willing to do that. And there's just social media has now replaced that or usurped it. There's no more what's my line for me to appear on.
Yeah.
Well, like a handgun, Ray, social media is a tool that can be used for good or bad.
Nice segue, sir. Back to the Cartridge Family.
You like that? Like what I did there?
But basically here what happens is they all board at the soccer, and they realize quickly they don't understand what's going on, that nothing's happening to them, and a riot breaks out. Just their way of saying, riots break out at soccer all the time. It's a known thing. Like, soccer riots, and they break out because they're bored. That's what they're basically saying here. And I really liked in the riot that Dr. Hibbert was beating up Dr. Nick.
Yes, I noticed that.
Legitimate medicine beats junk medicine. Hey.
It's so funny that the riot begins because they're all trying to exit, and Ned says, "Don't worry, there's plenty of exits for everyone," or something.
Yeah. Hey, shut up, you. I particularly also like just when they were bored, it's just quiet, and it's Homer, just the obnoxious jerk, just stands up. Boring. So everyone leaves. As you're saying, I love the guy with the valet. He has to get his valet. He picks up his car up as the whole place is just falling apart. That's
another great gag that's just about to come where Kent Brockman says, Mayor Quimby acting swiftly and declared mob.
Reacting swiftly.
Every family for themselves. Such good writing. I mean, that is what I love in comedies, and I think with the rise in dramedies, you're sadly seeing fewer and fewer of it. But I just love a comedy where every line they've squeezed a gag in, every vision there's like a little bit of a joke or something, and they've just they've clearly worked so hard to make every moment of the show super, super funny.
Yeah, and we're reviewing season 21 of the show at the moment. We're going through an order, and we get to some lines, and we go, yeah, that's fine, but it feels like there could have been a joke there.
Yeah.
But you just either run out of time or you couldn't be bothered. And it feels like if this was season 7, there would have been 2 jokes here in this one line.
Yeah. Even to squeeze in, I don't think it's the exact music because they've used it on more than one occasion, but the Amok Time Star Trek sort of they don't quite have it during the soccer riot, but it's close enough that you go, they've used that before. Or this is just shorthand.
It's usually chaos music.
Yeah, shorthand for chaos.
Yeah. But so he said it's mob rule, as we were saying. Homer says he's got his own alarm system, and it's just the fish. And Marge is like, watch the fish, Marge.
Someone just yoinks.
Someone's trying to break into the door. Just watch the fish.
I was looking at it, trying to figure out what could it possibly. I was like, it's really cleverly designed. Shout out to whoever drew it and designed it, because there's the alarm clock. So there's like an element of it where you're like, okay, there is an alarm here. So
it's meant to be alarming in that someone's at the door. They're already aware. Just watch the fish though. The next day, ex-con home security from the big house to your house. He's arrived. He's going to try and sell them a security system. And he's saying you're just stealing shit. He's a cigarette.
Takes an ashtray.
That's
takes the remote.
The TV remote, not the TV, just the TV remote. He just has to steal something. But he's basically just saying you can't put a price on your kids, on your family's safety. You've got I think it's a lucite he's going to put around the windows, so they're going to suffocate.
Basically seal them in. Yeah.
And Homer's like, we'll take it, but unfortunately it's $500, so he can't afford it, and just throws him out. And surely you can't put a price on your family's lives. Yeah, well, I thought so. I would have thought so either, but here we are.
It's another great Homer interacting with a handyman on his front doorstep. There's the one, maybe it's when the basement floods, and it's just a simple 50-cent bolt or nut that he needs to screw in, and Homer goes, no, can upsell me anything. He goes, I've got it in my car, I'll just go grab it for you.
That's the Stonecutter episode. Yeah. and then it turns out the guy could have just turned it. He's like, oh, you're a Stonecutter? I'll fix it for you. Marge is worried. She says, we need protection. Homer says, I guarantee protection. Cut to him at Bloodbath and Beyond. He's going to get himself a gun, and aisle 6 next to the sympathy card.
Not just any gun, your deadliest gun.
Is that what he says, your deadliest gun? Yes. So we come back from commercial, and Homer has got the point of view, he's pointing the gun. So it's twice in the episode, he's pointing the gun directly at the camera, turns it to Wise Guy, and pulls the trigger several times. I'm like, did he know it wasn't loaded? It's the click, 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 like he tries to annihilate this man.
Oh, God. Sorry, I got a little nerdy sidebar. This reminded me of something. I was watching this documentary on the weekend called Mr. Scorsese about Scorsese.
I saw you tweet about it a few times.
Fantastic doco, highly recommended. But of course, he's the director of Taxi Driver. And I remember reading this anecdote about Paul Schrader, the writer of Taxi Driver. Now, this was either before they made the movie or just afterwards, but they went to a gun store in Beverly Hills, got his hands on a little handgun, and he's just waving it around in the shop, like putting people in his sights. And all the people with him were like, if anyone should not own a gun, it's this man right here. It's like the writer of Taxi Driver.
I wonder if the Simpsons Swartzwelder knew that.
Oh god!
Well, anyway, it's the pulling the trigger.
But
for
just
me.
the ball in the tree. Yeah, go easy there, Annie Ugly.
Who was apparently a famous sharpshooter from Buffalo Bill's Wild West in the 1800s.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trick shot.
Yeah, she's a constant reference. I watched the TV show Jeopardy, and she's a constant answer in that. She's very big in the American education system. She must. Maybe Annie.
We're not learning the ABCs, but we are learning the Annie Oakleys.
Yeah, maybe Annie, get your gun. That might be.
Oh yeah,
that might
That
be
was
her.
from, okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
So Jeopardy. What's it like with the new host now? Is it the same? Because my wife and I, are big fans of Wheel of Fortune. Call me crazy, right? And then they changed the host. I'm like, it just doesn't feel the same anymore.
From Pat to Ryan Seacrest.
Oh,
That's right.
mate, he's not Pat Sajak. I'm sorry.
And Trebek's not hosting Jeopardy anymore.
He passed away.
No, he's dead.
Okay, well, so I guess not.
I've told you 3 times. He's dead.
I didn't even know he was sick.
I'll take game show owners who are no longer alive for $200.
See, I started watching after the Trebek era, so I
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I haven't. I never got to, I guess, get used to him. But obviously his stature looms, and he was obviously very good. But I do think the current host Ken Jennings, who's a former Jeopardy champion,
That's right,
the
yeah.
current game show champion in America, or he's got a record. He's got one of the records for winning the most money in game show history. Anyway, he's very good and knows his stuff. So.
You're like a kid saying, I only watched season 30 from season 30 of The Simpsons onwards. None of that golden era
I
shit.
didn't watch the golden era of Jeopardy with you.
Only post movie for me, thanks.
Yeah.
Fuck the rest of that.
They're asking questions about the 90s now, whereas I should go back to the 90s and watch them ask questions about the 70s. It's like,
What's your thoughts on The Simpsons getting a second movie? Do you have memories of the first movie when it came out?
yes, very distinct movies. I remember I had a friend who wasn't allowed to go, and his parents, or his host family rather, made him go and watch Amazing Grace, the anti-slavery film instead.
He wasn't allowed to. He wasn't allowed to. How old was he at the time?
He was my age, so that's well, we were in high school, yeah. So we were, I mean, the rest of us went, with no parental guardians. So
I don't think you're going to be warped by an animated penis.
Yes. I remember that. I remember that was like a huge, that was crazy. I think that, I guess because it had been was a kind of a trope in The Simpsons before that they would always, whenever a character was naked, they'd always so carefully hide.
Well, they'd hide the full frontal, the bum.
They'd Austin Powers that shit.
Yes, exactly. But then in the movie, there's just suddenly they just were like for a hot second.
Hey, a wang.
And it was like a child's wang too. So you're like, it's funny, but it's like also awkward. Like, I'm looking at a 10-year-old's willy. Like, what are we doing here?
I remember loving it, and I don't know how. I think I've only ever really watched it once since then, so I can't really comment on it. But I remember really, really enjoying it. I remember the gag right at the start where Homer stands up and says, "Hey, we're watching a movie of a TV show we could be at home watching for free," or whatever. That was
everyone's in the cinema's a giant sucker, including you.
Yeah.
By the way, Ray, just so you know, Ray, we are clipping that bit where Dano said, and by the way, it's a 10-year-old's penis, and you're saying, yeah, I really like that. So I hope you enjoy your cancellation, buddy.
It's interesting because the season 37 premiere episode we were talking about before starts with the family driving to the cinema for the premiere night of a new movie, and Bart says on the way, and think of all those jerks that are waiting for 3 days to watch it for free on streaming, and they slam the brakes, turn around, and go home again. So like it's a very similar gag.
Great gag. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like again, it sounds like The Simpsons are sort of having a renaissance, I guess you'd say. They're improving, and then for something like a movie, I do think they'll try bring their A game and bring rewrite and bring, so I'm positively predisposed, and even the fact that they've waited this long makes me I don't know, it does. So I mean, sometimes them waiting that long makes it seem like it's going to be even more of a shameless cash grab, and they're just but I don't know, I feel like they brought their A game for the Simpsons movie, and I think they produced a really fun movie at a time when the show maybe wasn't at its peak. And now that the show's improving and they're going to do another movie, and I feel like the way people are talking now about the Simpsons is it could be its last hurrah. Like people are saying maybe after this 4-season renewal, the show might end. So this could be its last big moment. So hopefully they stick the landing.
Call me crazy. I've got a theory for this new renaissance of The Simpsons, right?
Mm.
So for the longest time, because you're big in the Simpsons meme groups, you're aware that the mentality is new Simpsons shit, old Simpsons good, right?
Yeah.
Now a lot of people are saying, you know, new Simpsons isn't so bad. Yeah, well, whatever, it's fine. I think what's happened is we grew up with the show. We stopped watching the show. A lot of people stopped watching the show, and then even though they weren't watching it, they were just saying it's bad, even though they weren't actually watching it, right?
Mm.
And then these people got older, and they got married, and they had kids, and then they wanted to introduce their kids to The Simpsons, and they introduced them to the golden year episodes and whatnot. And then these kids, like my kids, went, "What are the new ones?" And they put on the new ones. And these people who for all this time were saying the new ones are no good actually sat down and watched the new ones with their kids and see their kids enjoying it. And they finally realized, oh shit, wait a minute. These new episodes are for the kids, not for me.
Yes.
And they've finally realized, oh, maybe they're not so bad. And that's what's happened.
Yes, 100%. And I do think, while I admit there's a drop in quality, I think, the way some people talk about the drop in quality online is quite extreme. But I do still think, it is still The Simpsons, and it is still a better than what a lot of other sitcoms on TV. Like even well, there are some really trash episodes of The Simpsons, but like, an average mid-tier Simpsons episode is still going to be a lot better than, some
Last Man Standing.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Some of the gunk that, did you just almost make the Tim Allen grunt just there? Oh?
I've been known to on occasion.
I mean, I'm a fan of Tim Allen. I watched his new show, Shifting Gears. I got like 2 episodes in. I was like, this ain't it, mate.
Yeah. Exactly. And The Simpsons, I don't think has ever truly been that bad, So it's all,
But yeah, that's just my theory, that the people have gotten older, had kids, and then realized, oh, wait a minute, now I can enjoy the show with my kids. And they're enjoying the show again.
And I think that a second Simpsons movie is big enough that they're going to really, really try and make it good. And it seems like there's a chance that it could be the show's swan song, so they'll really try, go out on a high. I'm feeling optimistic. I don't know about you guys. I'm seeing some skepticism.
Personally, I feel like The Simpsons will never stop. It'll still exist in some way. They're already starting to implement Disney Plus specials, so Disney Plus exclusive episodes. So now the seasons are actually shorter. I think this season's only going to be 17 episodes on TV, but there's like 2 or 3 that are going to be exclusive for Disney Plus. So I think they're just testing the waters here. And I think eventually it'll just be a Disney Plus show, because it's still one of the most watched shows on Disney Plus. And obviously that streaming services being Disney Plus, making the shows far more accessible, has also played a big role in helping the show find a new audience as well.
Yes. I also think there's something so funny in the fact that The Simpsons keeps getting renewed long beyond the time that anyone thought it was good. Like that's inherently a very funny thing that keeps happening. Like every year I see this news that the show's been renewed, and that I find hilarious. And there's like a cosmic, it's not a joke necessarily by The Simpsons, but there's some sort of cosmic joke about The Simpsons, and I enjoy that it keeps getting renewed, and I hope it never ends.
That's why, I think it was like season 13 or season 14, they had the "Have no fear, we've got stories for years." That clip show. It's like that was like 20 years ago, that episode.
That's so good. I don't know if it's the same one, but where Troy McClure comes out and says, and weddings after weddings after weddings, and it's Selma marrying Itchy and.
All right, so but so Homer's has he been given the right for the gun yet? Oh, no, he hasn't yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, so basically, he said,
he's got to wait.
Tells him he has to wait. Before that, though, I love he shows the accessories: silencer, a loudener. He likes the sound of a speed cocker, and he says he shows him a thing for shooting their police helicopters. He doesn't need that just yet, though. He says,
yes.
But the law requires a 5-day waiting period for a background check. Oh, but I'm mad now. And he says, I would kill you if I had my gun. Yeah, well, you don't.
Wise guy's always got to come back.
Yeah,
my hero.
But Homer leaves mumbling to himself. He's angry at life right now. He's just cracking he's down the hallway at 3 a.m. Lisa's like, can you be quiet? Marge kicked me out. Push the kids so they can tell me what to do in my own house. Then Homer's now waiting at the front, and this is a really memorable time lapse. Everyone remembers this one. So he's sitting at the front with his ammo over in his belt, waiting for the chance to have his gun, and all these things go past that he would love to shoot. So it starts off with the Target department store, the Target truck. We've got a family of ducks, some rabbits. Patty and Selma go past on a bike, and then Flanders goes past on his ride-on mower. But it's now time.
By the way, all to the tune of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, The Waiting, my favourite TP and the Heartbreakers song.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I just love it when a song is, when a song I like is deployed, when it's deployed perfectly like this, like it is here, thematically, and
Yes.
love it.
I looked it up online and I saw that Tom Petty very rarely grants the use of his music, but he's a fan of The Simpsons. So
Yeah, he was on The Simpsons, yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, have you not seen the Rock Camp episode with Mick Jagger and Tom Petty and whatnot?
Oh, no, is it later on?
Oh, maybe like season 15. It's a really good episode. So Lenny Kravitz, Homer goes to Rock Camp, and it's got Lenny Kravitz, Mick Jagger,
and Keith.
Keith's there as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh,
yeah.
holy moly! Yes, no, that's fantastic. I always remember that Bob Dylan turned down playing the coyote in Homer's spiritual journey episode, and because he, I don't know, doesn't want to do some TV show or whatever, and then he agreed to appear in, was it some sort of Coca-Cola ad in the Super Bowl where he sort of praised Americana and talked about how great America was, and I remember being so mad that he would appear in this random awful Coke ad, but turned down one of the great episodes of The Simpsons. Anyway,
but we got Johnny Cash though instead.
Yeah, we got Johnny Cash. It was great.
You know why that was the case, Ray?
What's that?
Big fat bag with the dollar sign on it. Works every time.
I thought, it's like you're having a bag. No, I don't want it. Draw a dollar symbol on it. Oh.
You don't say.
It moved me to a bigger house.
Oh, so good. But yeah, so he arrives as soon as they open. He looks all excited to get into the store, but it's actually because he wants to use the toilet. And then they say they've done a background check. You've been to a mental institution, frequent problems with alcohol. You beat up former President Bush, and he's stamped as potentially dangerous. Nah, don't worry. Just means you're limited to 3 handguns. You'll be fine. Yes.
3 handguns or less.
So then he walks inside. He says, Marge, I got a surprise for you. Close your eyes. She opens up and she has a gun pointed in her face. This is the trigger, and this is the thing you point at whenever you want to die. I'm glad that Marge, she stuck very true to her character. And at the end, it was a nice little rug pull where she actually likes the gun. But it's very Marge. From go to watch, she's like, I don't want guns in my house. And do you think Homer comes across poorly, like a bad husband, even at the end here? Where the very end of the episode. He's like, take the gun away because I won't be able to. But it's almost like an addict, though, isn't it? An addict acknowledging, I'm not strong enough. Help me.
I think that's what the episode does really well. Is it recognizes the allure of guns. And I mean, and look, America's complicit in this in a lot of ways because so much of its entertainment is based around what's the only thing that can stop a bad man with a gun? Good man with a gun. Yeah, it's been sort of drilled in from the get-go.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. I feel like Homer's confession there is sort of like him admitting his weakness. Like that feels okay, that part where it's like, take this away. Like he is still saying, I want to do right by you, but he just knows he can't. But up until that point, he has been a very bad husband.
I mean, you think he sort of redeems himself with a line near the end where, it's very much the thesis line of the episode. It says, what's the point of having a gun for protection if you've got no one to protect?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, but even after that, he's still got a gun in his belt.
Now, what are your thoughts on when they break the fourth wall here? So they acknowledge here that, because she brings up how Maggie once shot Mr. Burns, and someone's like, oh, well, Smithers did it. No, that would have made more sense. Are you a fan of these ones where they acknowledging something from within the show, within their own universe?
Yes, I think so. I don't mind it. It didn't seem bizarre to me when I was watching. I think, and I don't mind a show doing that. Like there are some. Well, I think. So I've watched the television show Glee, for example, and the writing in Glee, especially towards the end, gets very sloppy. And then what they will do is they'll kind of like do a cheeky reference to be like, oh, I can't remember if I was doing this or that, or they're sort of acknowledging the bad writing, but it's like, no, the writing was just always like, it's not funny to be like, haha. I think there was an inconsistency here. I was like, no, that you guys just shouldn't have written it bad in the first place. Whereas I feel like The Simpsons is different. I feel like The Simpsons kind of earns, like, I think they earn being a bit cheeky about their writing, about being like, oh yeah, we didn't do the obvious thing or whatever, like, because it wasn't. I don't think it was bad writing at the time.
Do you remember the Who Shot Mr. Burns when it first aired? Was it a big deal in New Zealand as a kid? Because it was huge here.
I may have been too young to appreciate it, but I do recall there being ads about it. Like, I feel like I can remember being at my grandparents' house and seeing ads about Who Shot Mr. Burns and stuff on TV.
I remember my dad, we had like a bet, my sister and I, we had like a little notepad. We watched part 1, we're going to work out who did it, right? I thought it was Smithers, she thought it was somebody else, can't quite remember. And my dad just goes, I reckon Maggie did it. And we're like, Dad, you're
What?
crazy. As if, Maggie, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And it turns out, I didn't realize till later on, or we thought he was a genius when he was actually like, oh my, how'd you know? And for years and years, he was just like, well, I had a good guess. I thought the clues are all there. And I was like, wow. And it turns out in Australia, on one of the Triple M or Fox FM or whatever, the guy on the radio leaked it because we were like 6 months behind in Australia.
Oh.
So he, as a joke, goes, oh, yeah, it was the baby. As a joke, got fired from his job for doing it because it was such a big deal. But my dad was listening to the radio at the time.
Marty Sheargold.
Yeah. He got sheargold. And then that's what happens. That's how my dad knew. But for years, my dad put up this, made himself like a god. We thought he was a genius because he knew Maggie did it. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've read about how they put in clues and stuff in the episodes, like all the clocks are pointing one way and yada yada. But
M&S and all that, yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's obvious at all. But but I did like that they kind of carried it on. Like there's that episode later on in the not so golden era where Maggie shoots at a bunch of mafioso from her crib and then puts the gun under her pillow and goes.
Yeah.
So, like I like that she's her character is now like a gun-toting maniac.
Yeah. But Bart asked to borrow the gun to scare the security at the bank. Homer says, only if you clean your room. And Marge says, I'm taking this away because you're 58% more likely to shoot your family member than intrude. That's what TV said. TV said that? I love that Marge is now smart enough to know she has to say TV said it. That's how you get through to this person, to her husband. And he says, I have to have one. It says so in the Constitution. And this is the fallback that we always have here, who lives outside the States. The Constitution is so outdated now. Like, it doesn't make sense anymore. When they wrote that, these guns, like, you didn't have semi-automatics and whatnot.
Well, it's funny they keep mentioning the King of England because, I think that's essentially what the Second Amendment was about. It's like the Brits could come back any time and reclaim, this country that was, quote-unquote, originally theirs. So, I mean, you were probably justified in having, your musket under your bed just in case, the redcoats come.
I was like pushing this. You want to come around pushing you around? Do you? Do you?
And I love Lisa's such a good daughter that she takes the rhetorical question from Homer in genuine faith. She's like, no, Dad, I don't want the King of England.
But this gag obviously worked better in 97 because at that time it was the Queen. So, but now obviously we've got a king again. But like in 97, it's like not only is it an outdated thing to have a gun, but it's outdated the fact that it's saying the King of England. It wasn't even the king anymore. You know what I mean? But now we've got a king again. But Marge still says no more weapons in his house. And Homer points out it's not a weapon; it's a tool like a butcher's knife or a harpoon or an alligator. You just need more education on the subject. So he invites her to the NRA meeting, and if she still doesn't like guns, then we'll argue some more. They arrive at the meeting, and it says on the sign, "Come in and shoot your mouth off." They're going through. I like this gag here, going through the security. Yeah. So it's beeping, beeping, beeping. Doesn't beep for Kearney. So Lou, the police officer, hands him a gun.
Right.
So that does beep. Then Lenny is chatting here. Lenny, very pro guns, chatting about automatic rifles, and they've been getting a lot of bad press lately. The manufacturers take out today's modern super animals like flying squirrels or electric eels. And it's almost like an AA meeting. So Mo introduced himself as Mo S. Hi, Mo. Tells his story about how this young punk tried to rob him as he was closing up the thing. What'd you do? Oh, no, it's Mel. Whatever did you do, Mo? Oh, it could have got ugly, but I shot him in the spine. They all applaud. Next place, you better Rob better have a round.
Just like cold-blooded.
I just love the applause. Hey, you did it!
It's so horrific.
In the spine. Homer then says, if a gun can protect your bar, Mo, then it's good enough to protect my family. Taps Marge on the shoulder, sort of say, "Yeah, you hearing this? You hearing this? I told you." And he asked to be a life member, and Marge says, "You can't be a life member for this crew. They're all maniacs." And I was like, "Oh, be fair. For once in your life, Marge. Be fair." And then at the shooting range, Agnes is throwing a grenade. Homer shoots the cans. Turns out to be the candy bar.
But I love it too. It also turns out if you think, oh, is this one of those things where Homer's actually going to be really good at stuff? Because it's like, wow, he's really nailing those cans. It's like, oh, of course he's actually shooting the snack bar.
And we get a great moment. So he enters the Quickie Mart, spinning his gun around, just being reckless with it. Apu thinks he's about to be robbed. Take whatever you want. And then we get Homer's like, We like if I rob the quickie mate, as we were discussing earlier. So stupid, but also just so funny.
Oh, yeah. Got the monocle in. Just
the monocle signifies just rich, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the sash that says senator. It's like, I'm pretty sure any senator has never worn a sash that actually says senator.
But every rich person on The Simpsons has to have a monocle, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't one of your favourite characters that, oh my word,
yeah.
monocle lady.
Anytime someone gets scandalised, a monocle falls out into the drink.
It falls into the drink, yeah. But decides he's going to rob the quickie mart, but it turns out he's just been daydreaming this whole time and he's now in the car. Oh, well, I'll just rob it next time. Yeah. Then he gets home, he helps Lisa get her ball down by shooting it. Want me to get the cat down? No, thanks. Then he's shooting plates like the clay pigeons?
Clay pigeons.
Yeah, clay pigeons, with Bart. He misses one, see you and Hal dinner plate. Then the family now all eating their spaghetti out of glasses and, as you were saying before, saucepans and whatnot. And Homer says, well, Marge, you probably left your dinner plates at work. Then Homer says that he's picked to be the host of the next NRA get-together. I love that they call it a get-together as well. Like, it just makes it seem more family-friendly. It's a get-together. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And Marge says, no guns at the dinner table, Homer. Well, you know, the breakfast table. They're the same table. And he puts the safety on. And this is great. This is actually a horrific moment, but it's actually genius that they would make comedy out of it. So he thinks he's got the safety on. Boom, shoots a photo of Marge. Oh, must have been on. Puts it back. Boom, shoots a photo of Marge again. Oh, he's like, shit, I'm just going to put this down. Puts it down, waits. It's like 2 seconds of nothing. And then, boom, it goes off again. Hits off, ricochets off something, gets a knife, stabs in the head. And even Lisa points out, you got to admit, that was pretty cool. But she says, look, if you care about us at all, before that, I think you'd agree, I'll put up with a lot in this, mate. And as we were saying earlier, Homer's about to interject and the kid's just like, mate, just don't. And then she says, for the first time, she actually fears for their lives. So if you actually care about us, you'll get rid of that gun. She pleads and he agrees. She says, I'm a lucky woman, and says, I'm a wonderful man. Then Bart and Milhouse are now going through the fridge. They're looking for the fudgesicles.
Yeah.
Or fudgicles? Which is the word? Fudgicles or fudgesicles?
It's a fudgesicle.
Fudgesicle. I say fudgesicle. Do you say fudgesicle? I don't say fudgesicle. I just say ice cream.
Have you ever said that word out loud?
Yeah,
right?
no, it's not a New Zealand. Do you guys have them in Australia? It's not a New Zealand thing.
We do not. I think fudgesicles are a uniquely American thing.
Do you know what they call them in England? Iced lollies.
Oh, yeah, it's horrific. Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing here? I always tell the story how my wife's from England. So I went to meet her family. When I first flew over there, my wife didn't know it's a surprise. And my wife's mum picked me up from the airport. We're driving home. She goes, oh, do you want anything from the supermarket whilst I'm in there? And I said, oh, a bag of lollies would be good. And she looked at me funny. She was like, oh, okay, sure. I was like, yeah, just any lollies. I don't care. Just a bag of lollies. And she comes out with a bag of lollipops. And I was like, oh, no, I said lollies. She goes, oh, you meant sweets. She's like, I'm wondering why this 20-year-old man was asking for a bag of lollipops.
By the way, do you have an unmarked van?
But I just remember the look on her face when I asked for a bag of lollies. It was just like confusion. Just like, do I want to actually bring this man to my house? Do I want this man to be with my daughter? What's going on here? But iced lollies in the UK, they're apparently called. It's very bizarre. Like, do you have any issues like that when you go to the UK? Like, because they call capsicum pepper, obviously, and things like that.
Yes, lots of little things. It's really annoying because, like, I wrote a joke about mattress protectors, and so here is
very good gag, by the way.
Oh,
Ray.
thank you. It's very kind. But here in Australia, they're called doonas. Overseas, it's called duvets. There's just
duvets.
Yeah, it's a lot of little things that I feel like can influence the cadence of a joke and like how many syllables you have and things like that. I think FPOS machine is not a term in the UK. I think they use card reader, and it's just again, I always purposely try write jokes that in theory will be universal, but it just always irritates me that there are just little language things that I can never ever possibly account for. And like today recently I wrote a joke involving putting hard rubbish into a cremation or something, but and then I realized hard rubbish is only a term in Australia, so I've had to.
Well, this is one that I bring up a lot, and as a New Zealander, Ray, you may appreciate this. You'd better appreciate it. On Flight of the Conchords, I think one of the first episodes, because they fashion a lot of episodes around their existing songs, but a line in one of their songs is going on a date and said, I'll take you for a kebab.
Yes.
But it's set in America. And I mean, we think of a kebab as basically like a souvlaki.
Kebab.
Or something like that, yeah. And they go to the States, it's like, what, so he's taking her out for a shish kebab? And then you see actually like a shish kebab on the screen when they've gone out. It's like, Not quite the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's like those Americans got a different word for just about
Yeah.
everything.
I remember when I ordered a Subway in London once, and there was 15-year-old girl behind the counter, sandwich artist, and I asked for some capsicum, and like her mind exploded. She was like, "I have no, she don't have any." I was like, "Okay, no, you do. It's right there." She's like, "No, that's pepper." And I was like, "No. I want capsicum." She's like, "That's called pepper." I'm like, "I call it capsicum." She's like, "I don't know what you're saying."
And then you said, "Can I interest you in one of these lollies?" Get out of my shop.
Yes. But as I was saying, fudgesicles. So Bart and Milhouse looking for the fudgesicles. They find the gun though in the veggie drawer, and he's about to shoot the apple, not off of his head, out of Milhouse's mouth. Yeah.
Oh.
Marge catches him. Well, Bart can have a gun as Homer walks in, and Marge can't believe that you would lie. This is the most despicable of all the things you've done. This is the most despicable thing of all. Look, Marge, I swear, I never thought you'd find out. It's such a great line, and the delivery from Dan Castellaneta is just as good.
Phenomenal.
And she takes the kids and leaves, and then he gets all outraged. Well, this is the thanks I get for protecting my family. Then go, I'll be fine. Turns to Milhouse. Yeah, to cook dinner. Do I?
Hits the cupboard, getting all the accessories there. Good on him.
I feel like Milhouse and Homer probably had a good night. Like Milhouse probably is a good cook.
I get the feeling, Milhouse prepared his own dinner more than once.
Yes.
100%. Yes. Milhouse has had to cook for his dad for sure.
Oh, God.
Yes. Then at Spinster City Apartments, they're going to see Patty and Selma. Marge needs a place to stay, but she can't stay because they've got a gentleman caller who's there to fix the TV, but it's just not plugged in.
Poor guy.
Yes.
Poor guy.
But she suggests, is it matches? A matchbook? She of the Sleep Easy
Yes.
Motel? She woke up there once. Seemed nice. Then we have the gun warming at the Simpsons house. At the signs out the front: nachos, rifles, and alcohol. And Mo is arriving with he arrives first with a bag of irregular Oreos. Yeah, I don't see what's wrong with this one. Bites it. Oh, that's what's wrong. Yes, we don't really get irregular Oreos and things like that. We get like irregular carrots.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with those carrots. But what would be wrong with an irregular Oreo? Do you think just like crumpled up, the size of it maybe?
Stale.
Stale.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Few weeks past its best by date.
Not quite right special.
Yeah.
Correct.
Do you have like an NQR? Do you have NQR in New Zealand as well? Or was that an Australian thing that you discovered?
Oh, no. So NQR stands for not quite right, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they would do a thing where you could get free apples and stuff. Oh, no. Yeah, no, we never really had NQR. No. I was going to say we had like free apples and stuff for kids, but that wasn't, I don't think those were the messed up apples and stuff.
No, the big chains do that. They'll have, have a banana and apple for the kids.
Exactly. Yeah.
I often hear, so put that down. That's for children. So,
No, I don't want a lolly.
it's for my inner child and nourishing my inner child.
I don't need to go shopping anymore. I'm full, actually.
No, but we got the NQR stores, which are basically sort of like discontinued brands or
Close to the use by date.
Close to the use by date. So, if you
And
want
or
to live on the edge.
It's past the best before, which is still okay to eat. It's not used by and best before, big difference. But the family, they arrive at the Sleep Easy Motel. The hooker's there. They ask Bart if he wants a good time, as you're saying earlier. Marge's like, he's not. He's really not. Then Mo shows how, with a few minor adjustments, you can turn a regular gun into 5 guns. They all give a standing ovation. Homer then says, who wants a beer? Opens it up with his gun. And this is where it kicks off, where you're just like, oh, wait a minute. These guys aren't gun crazed maniacs. Because they pick characters too, like, Mo and things like, and Cletus, and you think, well, these guys are clearly going to be idiots, but no, they're not at all. They can't believe that Homer's doing that. He even tries to turn on the TV with a gun. Agnes says she's never seen such recklessness. Krusty says these aren't toys. They're for family protection, hunting dangerous or delicious animals, and keeping the King of England away.
By the way, quick little shout out to Homer turning the TV on with his gun. What do you see the minute he turns on the TV? Someone gets shot in the Western and falls off a roof.
Yes.
It's pretty neat.
Is Chief Wiggum in the NRA? Because I'm pretty sure, isn't there a scene where
Dr.
Chief
Hibbert's
Wiggum,
in there.
Hibbert's in there, yeah.
where Wiggum doesn't Wiggum shoot his TV to turn it off at one point?
No, that's when
Clancy, here's a remote.
That's the Homer's Barbershop Quartet, the Beatles one, when he gets kicked out of the group and he's angry in bed, and there's Johnny Carson saying things that are irrelevant, and it's like Chief Wiggum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He shoots the TV, right?
He shoots the TV, and then Sarah, his wife's like, "Use the remote." But they take his membership away, and Mo wants to remove the tattoo, but he hasn't got the tattoo yet.
Oh, yes.
So
We're going to grate it off with the cheese grater.
yes. And they send him outside so that they can party. And then, meanwhile, at the motel, the kids ask if they can swim in the pool, but not just yet because they're still getting the body out of it.
That's so grim, such a grim image of the.
Yes.
Again, another thing you can do in a cartoon that you can't do in a live action show.
Exactly right. Yeah.
In there.
I love that the TV and the Bible were coin operated as well.
Yes.
Homer then Bart then does the new prank call where he asks for 3 a.m. wake up calls for every room but his own.
Every room but this one is so
Yes, and of course that would work in the Simpsons universe. And then they're racing the beds, Spotty and Smelly, and Marge is just looking at the window. She's just sad. She's like, "What? Why has my husband put me in this situation?" Homer is then shooting all the lights in the house. This gun cost me everything. Except my precious gun. And then he says he wants his family back because he's just obviously lonely and bored at home. No lights are working. Then Bart notices the camera up in the ceiling. No camera. Go back to sleep. And then Lisa's bed is making her nauseous because it won't turn off. And Marge says, it'll be morning soon, so just try and get some sleep. And this is where we get the first Quimby moment. He walks in with his mistress, I guess you could call her.
Companion.
Are you planning to stay the whole night? Yes. All right. Vote Quimby. And then Homer arrives looking in each room, opens the door, vote Quimby. And then Marge comes out, he says, there's so many things I want to yell to you. Just come down here and tell me. Okay, so he comes down and he says, I love my gun, but it's lonely being at home by myself and there's no one around to hear my witty remarks. And he says, I promise the gun is gone for good this time. And as the line you were mentioning earlier, finally realized what's the point in having the gun for protection if you've got no one left to protect. And they're about to check out. Quimby's getting some ice out of the ice machine in his robe. He gives him the continental breakfast. Then Snake bursts in to rob the joint, and he grabs Quimby. I'm too rich to die. But then
just love the continental breakfast.
Yeah,
puts an egg in the envelope.
Yes, just closes it. Yes,
and then he licks it shut.
Yeah, horrible, horrific. It's just dripping out the sides. So Snake walks in, and so he's grabbed Quimby, and Quimby doesn't want to die, obviously, but Homer pulls out the gun here, and you're like, oh, shit, you've lied again to Marge. Yeah. Marge is furious.
Marge decides to tell him off mid-robbery.
Mid-robbery, yes. But then he says what I secretly meant was he's too distracted talking to Marge, trying to justify why he still has the gun, and Snake takes the gun from him, and he's like, stupid idiot, I've got the ammo still. Mm-hmm. Give me the ammo. Okay, don't shoot. It's just classic. That is classic Homer, that is.
That's good.
Yeah. Then the NRA crew arrive because they heard the silent alarm that the clerk pushed because they have one of those scanners. My dad used to have one of those scanners when I was a kid, and he'd like sitting there and you can hear like the police and what's going on. It was like it felt like you were breaking the law. You probably were.
Yeah. Pretty sure it's not legal.
But my dad had like a scan. He's like, listen. He's like, oh yeah, there's this is going down. The cops are going down this road. And he's like, want to go look? And I'm like, there's a house burning a couple of streets down. And we're going to look. And I'm like, how do you know? He's like, they heard it on the scanner. And I'm like, this doesn't seem legit. But they heard it on their scanner as well. They heard the silent alarm, so they've saved the day essentially. So the NRA crew saved the day, but did they save the day? Because as Lisa points out, did anyone actually stop the robber?
Yeah.
No. We scared him away.
And it's interesting that there's sort of a correlation between these guys who are very big into guns and who also have police scanners as well. I'm not saying anything about your dad here, by the way, Dan.
Yeah. But I am.
I'm implying it. Yeah, I don't know. The fact that they kind of want to be law enforcers or being seen on the right side of
There it is.
I don't know much to say beyond that because I'm not a philosophy major like our pal Ray here. He'd have more to say about it.
Now, Kent, I'd be lying if I said my men weren't committing crimes.
But Homer is where he admits that he says, I can't control myself around this gun. It gives me this surge of power, like how God must feel when he's holding a gun. And he says, please take this away from me because I know I'll never be able, I'll just lie and lie again if I keep having this gun. So he gets Marge to take it away. He leaves with the kids. Marge goes to put it in the bin, and in the normal version, not the UK version, in the normal version, she goes to put it in the bin, sees herself in the reflection, thinks she looks kind of cool, and she walks out to the Avengers theme, which was not the Avengers we know now. The Avengers was a TV show in the UK, I believe.
Yes, not the Endgame Avengers we're talking about. John Steed and Emma Peel, the dude in the bowler hat and the woman in the tight black cat suit. Hot stuff in the late 60s.
And I have read that they didn't like the music. They didn't think it suited the moment at the end. They wanted to change it, but it was too late. And I've read they wanted to change it to "Happiness Is a Warm Gun" by the Beatles, but they couldn't get it all to work in time. It was too late notice. But there's a video on YouTube where someone's put "Happiness Is a Warm Gun" in its place, and it actually works perfectly. It would have been spot on. It's just a shame that it didn't happen. But yeah, "Happiness Is a Warm Gun" would have been a brilliant ending to that moment. And also, I feel like because a lot of people who didn't like this episode thought it made guns look positive, right? Put them in a more positive light than negative. I think that music at the end makes her come across cooler. Where when you watch that same ending with "Happiness Is a Warm Gun," it's more of a bittersweet ending. Where it's like it's not how cool is she?
Yeah, but having the Avengers music, and I mean, the main female character on that TV series was regarded as kind of a feminist icon, a very much kind of prototype girl hero. I don't know, not to be, well, you don't quite get it if you know, but she's been sucked into the, as I said before, the allure of it as well. It's like, no one's safe from thinking, damn, I look cool holding this, or I feel very powerful with this. Yeah.
All right, well, that is the end of the Cartridge Family. Thank you so much for picking this one, Ray. 'Cause it's not one I go back and revisit all that often, but I'm glad I did now.
Yes, no, I don't know why. I just watched it many years ago, maybe when I was going through The Simpsons. I just remember it really standing out to me of how funny it was, how many jokes are packed into it. It's just, I think also, politics aside, I think a gun is an extreme item, I guess. Guns, if you shoot a gun at someone, you kill them. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for comedy there because you're in such a heightened, extreme place. And The Simpsons milks it for all it's worth. It's so good.
You got to treat it carefully as well.
Yes.
That's what's did a great job here.
Yes, 100%, yeah.
Right, before we let you go, though, Ray, something we always ask our guests. You're already well aware of it. We've given you the heads up.
Yes.
We ask you about you got to put together a TV marathon, a Friday night Simpsons marathon. Now, what was the TV station that aired on it in New Zealand?
You actually got it right. I was very impressed.
I was so TV NZ2. Yeah,
I was shocked you knew that. We called it Channel 2, but it was run by TVNZ. I can't believe you knew that.
Like 2 whole channels.
Yeah, we had 2 whole channels. We actually had 3, I think. From memory, The Simpsons was on Channel 2 when I was a kid, and then it shifted to 3 due to who knows what rights issues and stuff beyond me. But
but was it like your memories are of it being on 2?
Yes. I remember it being packaged with Friends and
okay.
Yes, and I remember an ad they played of Friends and The Simpsons, and they did a song to Ode to Joy. Anyway, but yes, I was trying to pick. I think these are just my 5 favorite episodes of The Simpsons. I think, again, as a kid, maybe not necessarily the most entertaining for me to watch, but the most entertaining for me to watch now. And so, obviously the Cartridge Family, I think, is
okay.
One of the
which one would you start with? You're going to just pick one to start with. What would you kick off your 5-episode marathon with?
Oh,
it's Friday night. You got pizza. You got a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi.
Oh, that's good. Then maybe that does change things. Oh, maybe I would still open with the Cartridge Family because it does kind of cover the entire Simpsons family, and it's the one that's most focused on the entire family, I think, of the ones I've picked. And then I'd pick Homer at the Bat, which I think is a phenomenal episode. I think Mr. Burns is maybe my favorite major minor character, maybe of the secondary character.
Side character, yeah. It's funny that the cast absolutely hated that episode because they thought they were being written out of it.
Oh, really?
The Simpsons was getting really popular by that point, and they thought there was all the lines were going to the guest stars. And they're like, "Do you still want us or not?" And so the cast hated it, but us, the fans, loved it.
Yes, no. The baseball players all be taken out one by one in random events is so funny and
gigantism.
I told you to shave those sideburns. The one of you guys might remember his name, but the baseball player who kept objecting to his lines, and then the reason that he gets taken out is that he's been too heroic. Like he runs into the fire, and the lady says, "My washer and dryer," or whatever, and so he runs back in.
Keep going back in. Yeah,
I can't remember. He was originally taken out by something else, but he didn't like the way he was portrayed and demanded it be changed.
The name escapes me, but I know exactly what you're talking about. He had to go out. So he didn't die. He was just late because he was saving somebody.
Yes, 100%. They made him too much of a hero. And then apparently for the rest of his life, people would ask him about that episode, and it would piss him off because he just hated The Simpsons.
Well, it's like Bruce Springsteen. He turned down Radio Bart. That's why Sting is in that one now, where he falls down the well. They wanted Bruce Springsteen. He said no. He's still to this day. They're like, "Why didn't you do The Simpsons?" He's like, "Stop asking me about The Simpsons."
So and then Burns, Baby Burns, another again.
Yeah,
these are just all episodes that I think just make me laugh so much. Yeah, I think Rodney Dangerfield in this episode is so strong. There's so many good gags. The one where when they insult Marge in the basement, and then Rodney goes, "Oh no, give it up for your mother. She's all right." And
She's all right.
and Marge doesn't quite know how to react. She's like, "Oh, thank you."
Well, my kids absolutely loved Homer being forced outside to because Homer's like, we can't go out there. There's police in broad daylight, and then he goes outside, gets caught going outside with police around in broad daylight. There's only one word for it: idiocy. My kids thought it was hilarious. But Guy, your favorite moment is the put her back in. She's not done yet.
Phenomenal line. Also, when they drive past Larry Burns at first, and he's holding a sign that says Springfield, and Homer goes, "Oh, can't they get a pole to hold that sign?" So many just really strong jokes.
Great character design too, because he looks like Mr. Burns, but he also looks like Rodney Dangerfield.
Yes, they somehow do it. They somehow do it both. And there's a bit where when Mr. Burns shows him the playroom, which is the room with a theatre production running in it, but they walk over to it, and Rodney Dangerfield, he's doing the hunched walk with his hands up like Mr. Burns as well. And,
and again, he says, "Hey, don't worry about it. You're all right." To the guys in the play.
It's so just the little bits of stand-up comedy in there. Very funny. And
your
then,
final one?
Well, I have two more. Sorry, one is Summer of Four. Is it foot 2 or feet 2? I actually
4 foot 2.
Yeah, I thought 4 foot 2. I think that one. I mean, the making fun of Milhouse will always crack me up, I think, and it just has one of my favorite moments in the show, which is one of Lisa's new friends says, "Oh, Lisa, your mum is so cool. If it was my mum, she'd be coming in right now with Rice Krispie squares and orange tag or whatever." And Marge comes in with that stuff, hears it, and immediately flips on a dime and walks right out. And that makes me laugh so much.
It's just like Grandpa when he walks into the burlesque house, sees Bart. Walks straight back out again.
The flipping on it, it's so funny, yeah. And then the final one I'd pick is a Milhouse Divided. I think when Kirk and Luann get divorced, I think Kirk Van Houten is just a very funny, sad character.
And that was the birth of Kirk, really.
Yes.
It really was. Yeah. And what I liked about that one in particular was that the end doesn't give you the happy ending.
Yes.
It gives you the realistic ending. Yeah. Why the fuck would she take him back? She doesn't like this guy. And at most shows, though, he'd sing a song and you're like, "Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, Chase. I know you're a gladiator and you're a great husband or a great new partner, but I'm going to go back to my old shitty husband." Yeah. And it's like, no, that's not what would really happen. And she's just like, "Oh, no." But yeah, Kirk became a main character after that. He was always like on the show, but that's where he became the Kirk that we know and love now.
Yes, and there's just so many strong lines like so that's it. When he gets fired from the cracker factory, and he says, "Do single people eat crackers?" We don't know. Frankly, we don't want to know.
It's a market we could do without. That's also I don't recall saying good luck.
It's goodbye and good luck. Phenomenal. Just
And now that I've been married for 10 years now, but like watching that one when you're married, it hits you differently.
Yeah,
because, even if you've been in a relationship, it's like doing games nights with your wife. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Don't want to show the cat because the cat's going to get it.
So good. It's so good. And is that the one at the end? And Homer goes, Homer goes, "I want to renew our vows" or whatever. And Marge is like, "Oh, we don't have to do that." And he goes, "Yes, we did, because I went down to the courthouse for divorce."
Good divorce this afternoon.
Such a beautiful, misjudged romantic gesture.
Yes. Well, that's a great marathon.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, those I think are just some of the episodes. But yeah, The Simpsons. This podcast could go on for hours and hours if we just sat here and relayed our favorite lines. Like I was even thinking about the one where they recount. Is it how Lisa is born or Maggie is born, and Homer is leaving the bowling alley, and I remember all the different people are complimenting him, and he just thinks it's about his promotion, and I think Mo says, "Hey Homer, way to go on getting Marge pregnant." Well, these compliments are becoming more abstract.
I do love the bowling alley. That's Maggie. Yeah. But that has my favorite ending of all time. I'm a big soppy. It's the do it for her.
Yes, that's absolutely phenomenal ending. So sweet.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ray, for joining us here today. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
No.
Thank you, Ray O'Leary.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me and for getting to discuss my favorite episode of The Simpsons. Thank you so much.
Indeed. Now, before you go, though, let's, of course, plug those tour dates once again. I'll put it on the description. I'll put them all in the description of this podcast, obviously, but hitting the UK next year again.
Yes.
You went there earlier this year, were you there?
Yes, I was. Yeah. So about the same time every year I tend to head over. Yeah. So Feb to March.
Is that where you go?
Yeah, Feb to March I'll be in the all over England, Scotland, Ireland. So check out those dates and keep your eyes peeled on my social media because I'm working on my new show now, and so that'll be touring all around Australia and New Zealand next year.
Yes.
Brilliant.
And I'm sure we'll see you on Have You Been Paying Attention again next year as well, I'm assuming?
Yeah, well, I hope so as well. Please, begin the letter writing campaign, get me on the show. Yes.
Whatever, obviously, those big bags of the dollar signs,
yes,
right?
Exactly. I will endorse anything. If the big bag...
Is that you, Ed Cavalier?
Yeah.
All right, thanks again, Ray.
Well, sweet. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ray.